Hello, everybody. This is Nick Totero, Professor of Information Technologies and Computer Science, Lakeland Community College. I call this video Why I Do Things. And before you go any further, you can turn the video off if you want to. You don't have to watch the whole thing. It's going to be about 8 to 10 minutes long. It's strictly optional, but maybe this will give you an idea of some of the things I do and why I do them. I have done this presentation over the years to many of my classes. I've never done it on video. And where this comes from is I will often get questions from students, and the questions will start with, Professor X does it this way. Well, great. If it works for Professor X, great. It may not work for me. Maybe I've tried it and it didn't work, so I'm going to go someplace else. Nick, why do you use videos? I started this about 2-3 years ago. I found it a great way for me, especially in the online and hybrid courses, that people can see me, they can hear my voice, I can do presentations. I make mistakes in my presentations, but if it completely blows up, I can redo the video. A lot of times when I do presentations inside a classroom, they may take additional time, it may take long for things to boot up. So I found out by doing presentations on videos, it works better in the long run. Why do I use audio files? Because sometimes I like telling a story without pictures, right? The art of rhetoric. The art of rhetoric is, can you convey information? Can you win somebody's opinion by just words? Now, have I studied rhetoric? No. It used to be a big study topic in the 18th and 19th century, but that's why I do it. Nick, why do you tell stories? It seems like you tend to ramble and bring out stories. Well, there's a lot of reasons for it. One is maybe I'm building up to a certain point. Maybe I'm trying to take you on a particular journey. Maybe I'm trying to soften myself up to say, you know what? I sat in the classroom for many, many years myself. So we're going to do a little exercise. And maybe this can explain why I do certain things, whether it be a video, audio file, or even a presentation. Oh, one of the other questions, why don't I use PowerPoint slides too much? Maybe by the end of this video, you understand why I think they're great tools, but I don't use them. We're going to start by just reading text, right? So let me go up to my screen and let me read some text to you. All right, we're going to be looking at the Gettysburg Address here. And I can tell a student, go up to Wikipedia, read about the Gettysburg Address. Thank you very much. I've checked off that we've studied the Gettysburg Address. If we read it, the Gettysburg Address is a speech that U.S. President Abraham Lincoln delivered during the American Civil War at the dedication of the Soldiers' National Cemetery, now known as Gettysburg. Fine. There are a lot of people who just say, here's chapter 1, here's the content, go and read it. If you have questions about it, come back to me. And I understand that, and that's a very valid teaching method. I use it myself, but I think we need to add more stuff. So just giving you a website or just telling you to read a chapter or giving you a cookbook instructions, do step 1, do step 2, do step 3, and I walk you through everything, or the instructor, it doesn't add value. So let's turn the Gettysburg Address into a PowerPoint presentation. Now, this is a very famous PowerPoint presentation. It's been around for about 20, 25 years. The author of it decided to create a really ugly PowerPoint presentation, and he said he's going to take one of the most famous speeches in U.S. history, and he is going to convert it to bullet-pointed items. I don't like PowerPoint. I use it sometimes, but I don't like it because of this very nature. It just doesn't work for me. But let's do the Gettysburg Address. We'll say not now. Dedicated November 19th, 1863. So imagine Abraham Lincoln is giving this address. On the agenda today, I always see this one. Let's keep going. We're going to meet on the battlefield. We're going to dedicate a portion, which is a good thing. But yet there's still things that we need to finish. Right? What's not on the agenda, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hollow this ground. We can't add or distract from the individuals, the soldiers on both sides of the conflict who died or are wounded on this field. Keys to success. What makes our nation unique was conceived in liberty, All men are created equal, our shared vision going forward, new birth of freedom. Now, this last line I have to interject is one of my favorites because I have seen it hundreds of times in a PowerPoint presentation. Am I blocking it a little bit? Yeah, I'm going to turn off. I love this last line. The government, abbreviated. The government of, for, by the people. Those are some of the most poetic words imaginable. And they created a PowerPoint slide where they abbreviate the word government to save space. And they said of, for, by the people. I just, that personal one, it just cracks me up. I love this line because I've seen many, many PowerPoint presentations where the graphic is missing and they're screaming. That happens too. If you watch any of my videos, I make mistakes. We're human beings. I don't put like many hours into a production value. I try to get information out to the students as quickly as possible. So things happen, but I've seen PowerPoint where the graphics are gone. And then pretty much every PowerPoint slide ends with a summary. What did we just talk about? It's a new nation. We're in a civil war, dedicated field, dedicated to the unfinished work. There's still the civil war going on. We're going to have a new birth of freedom. Government shall not perish from the earth, right? This is a very classic PowerPoint presentation. They took this incredible speech and they summarized it. Now, let's watch a video. I didn't produce it. It's from the History Channel. I'm going to give them full credit on it. And it's a very, very short speech, but watch how they do it, listen how they do it, and you tell me the better approach. Reading a book, which is valid, PowerPoint presentation is valid, or this video.
Thursday, November 19th, 1863. Before an estimated 15,000 spectators, President Abraham Lincoln dedicates a new Soldiers' National Cemetery at Gettysburg. In a few moments, he will deliver words that he hopes will guide the Union through the war and start the process of healing.
77 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty, dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal.
Lincoln knew he had to raise the stakes of this thing, or else they'd stop. He knew he had to raise the stakes morally, and that's what the Gettysburg Address is about.
That from these honored dead, we take increased devotion to that cause, for which they gave the last full measure of devotion. That we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain.
That short speech of 273 words became one of the most famous speeches in all of American history. Lincoln knew that we must prevail in this war if we are going to remain America.
That this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth.
Okay, let me wrap some things up here. I'm not Abraham Lincoln. I'm not a great speech maker. I'm not an orator. I didn't study speech. I try to improve the content, the learning experience for all of us. I'm constantly learning from my students what works, what doesn't work. But I think I try to be an all of the above person. There are times that we have to read the textbook. There are times we have to have step-by-step instructions on a lab or an assignment. There are times where we have to use PowerPoint. Then there are times that we can use video. There are times we can use audio. There are times that we can give verbal instructions. Why not do all of the above? No. So thank you very much for taking this little journey with me. Again, like I said, I've done this presentation numerous times over the years. Now I finally put it in a video. With that being said, let's go and learn something.